Hi Blue Jacket Club and PTA. For those of you that don't know me, I am Dorothy Andrews and I teach 8th grade social studies at Daniels. Some of you have heard me because I'm really loud as you're at Daniels. And so I've taught many of your kids and have enjoyed all of them. I've been at Daniels now for 6 years. I actually went to Daniels back in the day. So it has a really special place in my heart. Shelly Rice actually called me and told me that you have some available technology fund and classroom support funds. So I wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of what I'm doing in my room. And she wanted me to write up an email or a proposal, which was the old way of doing things. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing in my room with a video, because this is the new way that I am attempting to deliver information for my students. And I have a question for you, of course, at the end of this. But first of all, let me just tell you, thank you so much for everything that you do. I know that we don't always tell you how much your support means to us, but I have just heard horror stories about schools that don't have good, supportive, strong PTAs and don't have available funds for technology. And it just means so much to me personally as a young educator, and it means so much to our kids who don't have access to it at home to have it at school. So thank you for everything that you do for us. You're just absolutely amazing, and there's just no way that we could ever repay you for what you do for us. So what is Flipping the Classroom? This is actually a course that I'm taking through NC State. And Flipping the Classroom is essentially delivering the content that you would teach every day based on a lecture through a video. And the video can be posted in several different spots. I'm posting mine on YouTube. That seems to be the most popular way for people to be able to get information from videos. But I also post them on my website and in various other places. So the kids have access to them. Everybody can get to them easily. So what are the advantages of flipping? My biggest concern, or one of my big concerns this year, has been this shift to Common Core curriculum. And it's been a really neat shift in a lot of ways. It's definitely not as heavy-handed in social studies as it is in some of the other areas, but it really has challenged us to change the way that we teach. And the focus on Common Core is depth and teaching of the skills. It's not as much content-based, but it's that skill-based curriculum, the MAP skills, and how to analyze a primary resource. All things that the kids are going to need in college and in other areas of their lives. So it's been really neat to kind of watch that process. Where the flipped classroom comes in is that I'm able to deliver the content, in a 5-minute video that the kids watch at home. I don't have to take 65 minutes of my class to deliver the content. Instead, the kids are able to watch it at home. They're able to watch it at their own pace. So they take notes in their notebook and then they bring it back to me the next day, and I check to see whether or not they've taken their notes. If they haven't taken their notes, then they are required to go to the back of the classroom where their computers are set up and get those notes taken so that they have the content. My students who have completed the notes have an opportunity to do some kind of extension activity, which I'll get to in a little bit later. So 21st century skills, big part of the Common Core curriculum, that use of technology. And I know that that's something that y'all encourage hugely at Daniels. And we need to keep on encouraging it, because it's, of course, going to be the way that these kids become successful. They're going to all have technology-related jobs. How this uses 21st century skills, well, it's obvious. They are required to get online to get their information. And also, if I'm talking about, say, the Industrial Revolution, and there's something that they want to know more about, they can pause the video and pull up Google really quickly to check a term or to, look a little bit more into depth about something that they want to know. Or they can have that question ready for me the next day, and my entire class can have access to that question or that information that they've found. it also gives me time in my classroom to use the laptops and use things that you guys have provided for us as extension activities instead of having a lecture-based classroom. And then it comes back to that student-centered piece. This system allows me to really tailor my classroom to the individual student instead of to a group of 30 students. Many of you know social studies and science classes are heterogeneous classes, meaning that we have kids from across the spectrum in our classes. So I have kids with very, very different needs. And so what this allows me to do is I don't have to change the content because obviously they're getting the same content online, but I can change the skills. And I'll be doing that using group work and using different activities for different groups of kids. If they need reading support, then we're going to go through an annotation process. Or if, you know, I have a kid with an above college reading level, then I'm going to give them a primary source and they're going to be working on a DBQ. And I can be monitoring all of that at the same time within my classroom because I'm not so focused on that content. So it really is not only good for the kids, but it's good for me, and it helps me to really form a positive relationship with my students. So the big question is the tools. What tools does this require? And I'm using a really low tech version of flipping. There are, you know, ways that you can incorporate smart boards and PowerPoints and all kinds of stuff. This system is not that way. NC State has actually really encouraged us to make this as low tech as possible because that way more and more teachers will have access to the tools. So I guess that I'm one of the people at Daniels that's doing this. I know that Kate Whittier is doing it as well. I don't know of anybody else, but I'm sure that there are plenty of people who have heard about this process. So things that I need, sorry, my dog in the background, camera and a tripod, which I've already purchased. You can also just use a cell phone camera. That's taken care of, so check on that. Whiteboards and markers. I actually got these giant whiteboards. It was a big, huge, long thing at Home Depot for like $13 and cut it into smaller boards so that I have the boards that I can change up as I need to. That's done. You know, we have the markers at Daniels. That's an easy part of it. So where we were going to need your support is with the technology that this requires. Earphones, tablets, or laptops are the big things that I will need and that anybody that's doing this process will need for those kids that are not watching the videos at home or don't have the ability to watch the videos at home. I actually did my first big lesson with this today, and my first period class is my class that struggles a little bit, and I had almost half the class that did not watch the videos. So I was kind of scrambling as to where to put the kids so that they would watch the videos. And I have 2 computers in the back of my room, and I had like 6 kids at. Kill me. Stop. So it, you know, became a little bit of a challenge for me to figure out where to put the kids. So the more internet access I have in a class, the better off it is. And some kids have their phones and they can watch them on their phones, but I would so much rather be able to monitor what they're doing on something like a laptop or a tablet. For me, the tablets would be the best thing to use because they're a little bit less expensive. And I don't need my kids to be able to print or do anything like that. They just need to be able to watch the videos online and to do the research online. So, like I said, that's kind of where you come in. Part of this is to ask for your support if you can give it. And if you can't, don't worry about it. We have so many great things. I'm not really overly stressed about it. But it would be such a blessing to be able to have some of that extra technology in my classroom. And I'm so thankful that Miss Rice reached out to me for that. But to ask for that, and also just to kind of let you know what's going on, and that this is just a really neat trend in education, and I'm excited about it, and I hope that all of your kids have access to it as well. So feel free to drop by my room at any time or look at the videos online. On my website, I'm still tweaking a little bit as to how this is all working, but so far so good, and I'm really encouraged by what I'm seeing. So thank you again for your support and everything this year, and I'll look forward to seeing y'all soon. Thanks.